How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video. And in this one, we're going to be taking a look at this car right next to me. This is the 2022 Land Rover Defender 90. There's also Defender 110 and the Defender 130, which is the largest one across the range. This is the 2-litre 300 HP version. So there's also a faster 500 plus HP V8 version, which would have probably been the one that I would go for because I got the need for speed. But otherwise, I think this is probably the all-round perfect one to go for if you're looking for a Defender, especially of this size. It looks really nice and snazzy. I love the look of this, and it's been turning heads everywhere I've been driving this as well. But before we go further and answer that question, whether they've done the right thing creating this car and sort of renewing and bringing up to date the Defender that's almost like an heritage car. It's been around for a long time. Before we go into that, please do subscribe if this is your first time around there. It does help me out, and smash the bell notification so you get notified every time there's a video up on the channel like this one, and share it as well and like it, and someone else might enjoy the video. Let's get on with it. Starting with the front of the car, we can see how ginormous this car is. If you see this in your head mirror, you know that you've got a beast coming behind you, and it's got that big Defender logo written right in the front of there, which looks really nice. We've got different color accents going all around it. Excuse all the flies that have died along the way getting here to film this car. It is what it is. But yeah, if we carry on, we've got different areas there. We've got all the sensors for, you know, parking and all that stuff, which looks really nice. You got the LED lights with daylight running light there. Matrix LED lights looks fantastic. We've got fog lights on the bottom there. I just all round love the bold look of the front of the car. And that sort of summarizes what this look would be described as by myself. If I just look at this, I'll go, it's got a very bold, beastie, stubbly look, and it just looks fantastic. If you guys remember on the Defenders, as they are, the older Defenders, you normally get this metal slat that comes here. So if you were to stand on here, you'd be able to do other things to do with the roof area, all that stuff. But this time, this is actually a plastic material, but it's still quite grippy because it serves the purpose, which is basically to offer a grip if you were to be standing on this, so there's no problems there at all. I think it just looks really nice, especially in this color as well, blue color. I don't have the official name in my head, but in this blue color, I think it looks fantastic. And I'll probably opt for a black one myself, but this color also looks fantastic. And so far, so good driving on the road. Everyone absolutely love it, and they always admire the car as I'm parking it up or I'm driving everywhere. People just admire the car. It looks fantastic. On the side here, you would notice straight away these big wheel arches, both on the front and the back of the car. And this is rocking a 20-inch alloys, and these are Pirelli tires. I'm about to say P0 then, but Pirelli tires, 20-inch. But you can opt for the steel version that looks very old school and looks nice on the Defender 90 actually. And then if we look on the side here, this is where you can attach a snorkel onto the car. So if you guys know about the Defenders, that's something I see it as a cool factor, although it does offer its functionalities. And then on the side here, below here, we have the X Dynamic logo just situated there, and we have a folding mirror which also has a sensor and a camera there, and this will flash on the other side when you've got something in your blind spot, again for safety purposes. So it looks really nice. I think that's about it. All around the car, there's not a lot going on. It's very minimalist, and there's not much to talk about apart from the fact that I actually think this looks fantastic, and it holds some of those old Land Rover heritage in terms of the old Defenders, combines it, brings a modern feel to it, and it almost feels like an old building that's been sort of refurbished to make it look modern without taking away from its DNA and what a Defender is all about. And I love the Defender 90, I love the size of it. But before I chat too much, let's check out the back of the car as well. Over on the back, the story continues in terms of a Defender DNA. As you can see, we've got the flat back on there. We've got the tires, the spare wheel hooked up onto the back, which looks fantastic. I love that about the Defenders. It's one of the things I love about Defenders in general. And we've got the LED lights on here as well. Nice little cutout and shapes. You can also opt to get the blacked out version as an extra, so you have to pay extra for that. Got the Defender logo written on there. We've also got our tow bar that's stowed away currently on there, and another pull bar there. To get into the boot space, we just have to press a button here, so that will allow us to open this door, and it's quite heavy as well, so do bear that in mind. And if you're in a tight space, bear that in mind as well, because if you hit another car with this, you're in for a treat there. And inside of here, we do have a few things like again, cigarette lighter ports to plug things in. I love that this is a fabric that you can easily remove and fold it away and just chuck it in the back of the car. And this is just under 400 litres of space, which is not a lot. But if you fold the seats, you can get more space. So you're looking at around just under 1600 litres of space. But if you do fold the seats, it just means you lose the seats there, so you won't be able to carry extra passengers at the same time, unless you really want to squish yourself in there. I love that they've included some buttons here, and there's a hook there for your shopping bags. And this 4 buttons here allows you to do different things. For example, one of them will allow you to store away and release the tow bar. So if we just press this, unlock the car. There we go. So you press it and it starts to make a noise to let you know that it's active, it's been activated, and that will just release like so. Not too fast, not too hasty, not too aggressive, which is really cool. So you can then attach whatever you want to attach to. You can press it again to stow it away. Nice and quickly, it just does it. There we go. You can't be in a rush to operate these things. And then you've also got 2 buttons here to adjust the height of the car. So if you're carrying heavy bags or you want to load up the car, you might want to adjust the height. So you just press it, it goes really high up, which is quite funny when you do it actually. It goes all the way up like so. And then if you press it, you can release it again. Because it's got that air suspension, this allows you to do so. Air suspension is going to cost you extra, otherwise you do get a coil spring suspension as standard. In the boot itself, it's not large space unfortunately, and you do get this bar, this metal bar here that stops you from easily just sliding things into the car. And underneath here, you do get your toolkit there to change your tyres and stuff like that. In here, obviously, I got my KFC essential stuff for road trips and filming cars. I've just been having my lunch in there, my bag and stuff like that, and my drone in there. But that's all you get in terms of boot space, and I love the back design. It looks fantastic. And just to close this again, like so, you just slam it closed and you're good to go. You're ready for your road trip. Sitting in the back of the Defender 90 feels very comfortable. It feels very roomy as well. There's plenty of space available to you in terms of knee room. Look at that. There's loads of knee room available. There's loads of headroom available as well. And we've got this window here that lets extra light into the back, so it gives you a sense of extra room in the back of the car. There's also this area here which I can either hold on to like this if I need to, or I can just use that as a little elbow rest so I can get even more comfortable sitting in the back. There's also this handlebar here which comes in very handy if you were to go off-roading, no pun intended. So if the car's moving everywhere, you can just hold on to that and you feel nice and secure in the back. There's a charging port here, so there's a full USB port, so you can charge your devices. There's nothing to hold your iPad here, unfortunately, so if you were to enjoy something on a long trip, you'd have to hold on to that. Or you can get those aftermarket devices where you can hook it up onto the driver's headrest and you can watch your iPad on the go. There's a cup holder situated on the floor here, so you can just lean over and, you know, drink your drink and that stuff. So that's useful if you were to sit someone in the middle, which also it's worth mentioning that the space in the middle is actually decent to sit a third person here. There's no transmission tunnel here, so they can sit there and not have to worry about their legs at all. And there's another armrest here, so if we were to sit 2 people at the back, they've got armrests here and they can have their cups situated here if they want to drink their drink on the go. But if someone were to be sitting there, we've got cup holder here which you can still use to secure your cups, your bottle in place. Down here we have 2 USB-C ports to charge your devices again. We've got the air vents there, and there's 2 cigarette lighter ports there, so you can plug in things like your vacuum cleaner, or if you have one of those external ports, you can plug in your laptop, for example, on the go, which is pretty neat. And then you got your speaker grill there, big headrest there as well. But not to worry in terms of being able to have visibility for the driver, which I'll talk through when we get to the front. There's a camera on top of the roof here, which transmits what's going on in the back into the mirror, so that way you don't have to worry about this. Although it's also, as well as being useful in the night time and being useful for that situation, it also just means that if you have people sat at the back, like your baby or whatever, at the back, you won't be able to see them at the same time. You'd have to flick it back to your traditional mirror system to do that. If there's anything negative, I have to say, would be getting in the back is not that comfortable. There's no side step to sort of step on to get into the car. You just have to just hop up and get inside of the car. So it's not the most comfortable situation going. Also, what you get is the seat itself to actually get into the back area. You have to wait for the electric motor to motorize the seats and move that forward for you to be able to get into the back area. So you might have to wait a little bit for that you're going to need that patience before you can get in the back. So apart from that, I don't think there's anything negative really to say about the back seats. There's plenty of space, and that's all that matters, and it feels nice and comfortable with plenty of ports to keep people entertained and plugged in when they're sat at the back. Up front for the passenger, before we go on to the driver's side, we do have this handlebar here to hold on to. So again, if you're going off-roading, this would be very useful to hold on to so you don't move all over the place. And you can place different things here on this tray. So perhaps you might have your phone, you might just want to put your phone there. And that could actually be useful for just placing a phone there to watch something whilst the driver's doing their thing. So you can just be here and do other things as you wish to do. So there's also a charging port here. So there's a full USB port here to charge your device. So you can plug it in there. There's nothing behind the screen itself, but there's a gap there for some reason. But you could possibly hide something there if you really want to, but you do get your glove compartment as always. It's not the biggest of compartments. Great for documents, so you can place that there. The handlebar extends all the way to the end as well, so you can just kind of hold on to this if you wish to do so. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the passenger. They also get a USB-C port down below here and a full USB port. So again, there's a cigarette lighter port there, so you can plug in other things. There's a cup holder here, 2 cup holders, massive gap between here, below here, so you can place other things if you wish to do so. And we do have another cubby hole here just underneath the armrest, so you can place more things there. So there's plenty of space in front for the passenger as well as the driver, I suppose. If we just close the door a second, you can still hold on to this. So there's no problems there at all. If we move over to the driver's side from the driver's perspective, you've got a big steering wheel here that's adjustable, electronically adjustable. So if you like, you can pull it towards you like so. You can pull it down away from you. You can adjust it up and down. And surprisingly, it's pretty responsive as well. It's very quick, so you don't have to wait like you do the seats to adjust it at all. So that's fantastic. And everywhere else here just feels nice and premium. You got this faux leather all around here, nice stitching all around it as well. There's no head-up display here, unfortunately, but you can pay to have that as an extra inside of this Defender 90. But I love the mixture of this sort of like fabric looking material that they've used. You got the heated leather steering wheel as an extra if you wish to do so, but it's got nice leather finishing. It's nice and big and it just feels comfortable to use. I love the stalks as well. You've got no paddle shift here at all, so don't get too excited. But it's very straightforward and minimalist in some sort of way. We have all our buttons here to control the climate control stuff. You got your gear stick here, nice and easily reachable when you're driving if you need to shift to sports mode and shift the gear up and down. And you've got the display here. I think it's just around 10 inches display. You can opt to have a bigger display like you would in some of the new Discovery. So that curved display that goes on here, you can get that. But I think this small display here fits perfectly in the front. It doesn't look too big. It feels right at home where it is. And you got a big display here as well for the instrument cluster. Closer look at the buttons that we have here. Excuse the sound of the car in the background. I've had to switch the engine on to show you guys the buttons available here. So we've got ones here to adjust the vehicle height, so we can go up higher if you wish to do so. You can decrease the height as well, or you can just press it again and it will go back to normal height, and the center light would come on to let you know that you've selected the normal height for the car. You got things like your hill descent and stuff like that for off-roading, and then we've got temperature stuff like AC on and off. We can press this one to adjust the seat's temperature, so if you want it hot or cold, you can adjust accordingly to suit your preference. We've got the fan button here to adjust the fan intensity, up to you. And then on the right side, you can adjust the temperature for the car. So you can play around with that and get nice and comfortable for your journey. This button here allows you to select a different drive mode. So we've got things like your Eco. We've got this one for comfort. Let's press that again. It's disappeared. There we go. We got this one for grass and gravel, snow, etc. Let's just close this. Press that again. We get option for mud ruts, we've got sand, we've got rock crawl, we've got wade, and we've got configurable as well, so you can do your own settings. So if we do configure, so you can configure the terrain depending on where you are. So if you think the car can't do the job for you, you want to do it yourself, you can sort of adjust this little things here, like things like steering. You can change how light or heavy the steering is, the powertrain, how responsive it is if you want it to be relaxed. Differentials, it's got electronic differentials. It's got electronic differentials, so you can lock it to center, you can lock center and rear, or just have it as automatic, and then you can customize the name of that according to what you want to do. It's weight sensing in this as well. There's 4x4 info. So if you go to 4x4 info, you can see what each wheel is doing as you're moving around and doing different things. So as I'm turning the steering here, you can see the steering moving here, left and right and stuff. You can lock a few things. You can see them lock into place and so on. And you can see different mode as well once you've put it in different modes. You got weight sensing, it's got auto weight sensing, you got max 2.9 inch, or I think that's inches. But you can raise the vehicle or you can lower the vehicle if you wish to do so. You got TR info, which gives you your terrain response information. We can go up across and it gives you all different information, and then you got your configurable terrain stuff there, which it just gives you that extra option to customize things and make it just the way you want it to be. But most of the time I just have it in comfort mode as I'm driving day to day. So depending on where you're going to have it, where you're driving, you can do different things and just enjoy the comfort of your vehicle. And this car is fully capable as an off-roader. So if you're going to take this off-road, there's no problems at all. You have no worries at all. More on the infotainment system. So this is a 10-inch PV Pro, so the latest PV Pro infotainment system, which is very responsive. It's actually one of my favorite infotainment systems out right now because they've updated it so much. It's so much better. It's much more responsive. So you got these tiles that you can change and add different things, like, you know, even like your slope assist can be there, your compass, your media information. It's just nice and responsive as you scroll across, and it's nice and bright as well, very visible. There's no issues there at all. We can go in here to see more options available. But one thing I really like that JLR do very well is once we're here, for example, we can just press this settings, and this will give you quick settings. So screen off, dark theme, auto brake hold. You got your home screen, so you can go straight into home screen settings and layout. You got audio settings, which I really like. You can go quickly into your audio settings, or you can press that all key and will give you all your settings that's available. So things like setting your profile, connectivity settings, inside vehicle settings. You can do things like your driver assistance settings, so you can see what's safety options available. So we have collision avoidance, we've got cruise and speed assistance, we've got driver condition monitor. So if you're getting tired, it can, you know, tell you that you're tired, you need to take a rest, and you got load speed maneuvering as well. I've got safety and security. We've got things like your alarm and stuff like that, exterior light settings, convenience, things like your windows, wipers, vehicle access to lower it or not, all that stuff that you can do in here. Inside collision avoidance, we can see what options are available. So if we start the car, we see what we've got. So we've got collision warning alerts. You can change it to early, very early, and so on. You've got rear traffic braking, rear traffic warning, emergency braking, emergency lane keeping as well. If we go into cruise and speed assistance, you got speed limit warning and adaptive speed limiter, driver condition warning, like I was saying, so you can find rest areas, and driver fatigue alerts. So when you're getting tired, this will warn you to get some rest. If we press this button here, this will give you more options to see what's available. So you got your navigation, you got your account settings, we've got seat settings as well. If I just tap that, and then you got option to adjust seat temperature. So pressing that would allow you to make it hot or make it cold, so you can get as comfortable as you want to be. If we go back out into the rest of the options, so you got climate control, your cameras. If we go into cameras, you can see the full capability. So you can see the back door or the boot is open, and then you can sort of see different parts of the car, which is pretty cool. It's quite interactive. If you go off-roading, you can get like a see-through version, so you can see the front, you can see the side, so you can see what the tires are doing as you're off-roading. We've got towing, so again you can see your tow bar there, which is popping out at the minute, and you can see how the whole thing just works. And if we press this, we can see how the tow bar works. So we can stow it away. You can see that, you can hear it at the back right now. It's doing its thing. It's stowing it away. And then you got things like measure load, trailer bulb check, and just extra options to make sure that you are safe and secure when you're driving on road with that stuff. So again, if we just go back out to the tow, the camera there, sorry, you can see now that the tow bar is disappeared because it's no longer there. We've stowed it away, which is pretty neat. We can go back on road and see what options we have here. So pretty neat that you can do that. Or if we stick the car into reverse, you can see that you got camera there as well for your reverse camera. It's beeping away we put that into neutral. There's camera at the front as well, so if you're going forward as well, it will show you the front of the car. If we go back out to the rest of the applications, you've got valet mode, eco data, so you can see how you're doing. Low traction launch, so if you're driving in a snow condition, for example, you've got 4x4 information, vehicle dimensions for if you're driving through a tunnel or whatever, some limited area, you can see what your vehicle dimensions are, so you are pretty aware. You've got park and pay, so you can pay directly from the car, you can connect to other accounts, and like I said, you've got Amazon Alexa there. So it's pretty straightforward, got plenty of options, plenty of entertainment options to play with as well, and everything just works really nice and smoothly there as well. On the instrument cluster, we can change the view that we've got as well. So for example, there are keys and buttons on the steering that you can use to adjust that. So if we press this, let me press the settings options here, so you can see vehicle, you can show tire information, you got info panel display settings. So here I can select the info panel and select what I want to see in that center area there. So I've already got map on there at the moment, or you got 4x4 info, you got loads of options, or you can turn it off completely. If we go to layout, you can change the layout as well. So you got 2 dials, you got 1 dial there, you can show full map if you wish to do so. You got media, driver assistance, and so on. One thing I don't like about this is we have to press so much buttons to get into all this panel settings. It would be nice to be able to just press one button here and change that view accordingly to what your preferences are if you wish to do so. But otherwise, it's nice and big, it's bright, easily visible in all lighting conditions, so I have no problems there with it, apart from the fact that we have to dig deeper to be able to see all those important settings that you might want to change on the move. We also have this digital head mirror here, so we can just flick this on like so. So you can see the camera at the back there showing the plants and the grass or whatever that is, the wheat at the back there. But what you can do is press this button here to change different settings. So you can adjust the brightness, for example. You can press it again to adjust which view it is. So you can go up like so. So you can go all the way up there, and you can go all the way down here like so. So just pressing that will allow you to change the settings. And if you're one of those people who are just like, you know what, I don't need that digital end mirror, you can just flick that and it goes back to just your standard mirror like everyday use, and then you can press this again and goes to digital. But I kind of like the digital mirror. It's very clear, it's great at nighttime as well, and just all round fantastic. As you can see there, it looks very sharp, and yeah, I have no qualms with it, apart from the fact that you won't be able to see people sat in the back when you've got this on. So if you have your baby at the back, you won't be able to see your baby at the back at all. So you have to choose which one's more important to you, digital or OG. Let us know in the comments below. So on the road we are right now, not off-roading, unfortunately, although I have been in this car off-roading before with Land Rover, where they've taken us out in their facilities to actually see what this feels like off-roading. Before I get into it, I just remembered something. One thing that you could do as well with the configuration with this car is that this middle seat here, you can actually have one extra seat there if you really want to sit someone in the middle, which is a bit weird, but you can do it. Ooh, speed bump, but that felt very smooth thanks to the air suspension. So back onto the conversation. This is a 2-litre petrol engine offering 300 HP. It would do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds, and it has 400 Newton meters of torque, and it feels really nice. I would say, I hate using the word nice to describe things. I need to find new words to use actually. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what words I should be looking at to be using for this kind of things. But what I was going to say was, when you start driving this on the road, it feels very comfortable. It's so smooth, it's ridiculous. Especially when you're on the motorway and you stick this thing into cruise control mode, you just glide. It's almost like just going through space, and you just, maybe the way I could describe it would be, if you were to float when you're swimming, for example, you just float, you just feel nice and relaxed on top of water. It just feels like that. It just feels really comfortable. It just glides. There's no problems at all. And that's something I really enjoy about driving this car out and about. I know this is designed for off-roading and some adventure, you know, but I think when you're not doing those things, which most people who we actually buy this car wouldn't be doing, guaranteed they won't be doing any off-roading. I can't see it happening. I haven't done any off-roading since I've had it, because I don't have that sort of luxury of doing so. I don't live in that sort of area where I need to do those things. But that aside, I think generally this is very practical. You've got plenty of space here. It feels very comfortable. There's the visibility in this car feels top tier in terms of this. I actually see everything, including that camera up there helps to see things behind me as well, very comfortably well. Parking, this is great as well. You got that 360 degrees camera, parking aid, parking assist, everything is there to help me park the car comfortably well without worrying about the size of it or anything like that. Driving this out and about in London though, you do worry about hitting other things or, you know, giving way the amount of space you have when you're driving on tiny roads, especially when I drive to the studio. The space on the roads is so tiny, I have to get used to it. But other than that, I think it makes you feel secure in your driving. And the only time you have to start thinking about the size and the weight of the car is when you brake, the weight just shifts to when you're braking. When you're turning corners, sharp corners that is, you feel the weight as well. So you have to kind of be patient when you're driving this out and about in the city, because when you're turning corners and when you turn in and taking bends and stuff like that, it doesn't feel as safe as you would in a smaller car. So you have to be patient with it and brake and then turn and that kind of stuff. So the steering feels very precise as well. You know, when you turn, the car feels like it's going to turn. It's nicely balanced and not too heavily weighted or too soft, although you can change that in the settings. But I think by default, if you leave it on the auto, it just feels really, really well balanced. And that's what I like about this as well. So there's a lot to like about the Defender 90. I think the driving experience feels great. It feels comfortable, whether I'm driving on countryside, whether I'm driving in the city. It feels very comfortable. It's quick as well when you go off the line. You'd be surprised, for such a heavy vehicle, it just moves off the line. And I've had people sat in the car with me where they didn't expect it at all. I just put my foot down. There's a bit of a tiny bit of lag, not a lot at all for a big car like this, that you put your foot down and it goes. Like, it feels quick for such a heavy car. And like I said, it feels comfortable when you're taking corners and bends like this. Oh, that's a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Let's slow down. So when you're taking these bends and you're driving countryside like this, it feels really comfortable. It feels really nice. And visibility is very good as well. Everyone can see me clearly. I can see everything that's going on around me. The digital mirror helps. I feel like I'm just repeating myself here. But in summary, I think it's an excellent car and it's a true Defender as well. When you need it to do some off-roading bits, it does it really well and comfortably well, fills you with confidence. Both the technology in the car assists you in making sure you get the most out of the car. But I think that's my opinion of the car anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think all in all, for the price tag, I think this will set you back around £60,000, give or take, with all the extras that's been added. There's no sunroof on this one, which is a shame. I would have loved to have a bit of a sunroof on this, because I haven't been in the Discovery with the sunroof. It just feels really nice. There's no side step there to get out of the car. Sound system sounds fantastic. Everything's easy to reach. There's no head-up display, unfortunately, here. But I think for such an old vehicle, in terms of the Defender range, the Heritage, I think they've brought this up to date in a balanced way without making the car or Defender lovers feel alienated. You don't want them to feel like, what is this? What have they done to the Defender? You don't want anyone to think like that. And that's what they've done. They've balanced it well. I can imagine Land Rover going, guys, we want to update this, the Defender. What can you do without alienating people, without making it look ridiculous or bastardizing what the Defender stands for? And I think the designers and the engineers and everyone has come together and created something that's still a Defender at heart. And that's very important. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you spend that sort of money on this? Would you go with this, maybe the V8 version versus the G-Wagon G63 AMG or something like that? That would be a good comparison. But yes, I digress. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If this is your first time around here, please do subscribe, smash the bell notification so you can get notified every time there's a new video up on the channel like this one. And hit the like and share. Sharing it does really help me out. It helps the video in terms of performance. Helps me keep producing videos like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.